Hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I want to give you top 10 Maurice Sam movies you need to watch in 2023 before the year runs out. Trust me, these movies will save you data and time in trying to look for the best Maurice Sam movies to watch on YouTube. Before we dive in, you know how we do it here. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more Nollywood spicy gist. Coming at number 1 is the movie Pretty Thief. Pretty Thief is a movie produced and directed by Love Eze. Though the movie was released in September 2022, but it still finds itself being consistently watched in 2023. Your top cast are of course Maurice Sam and Shine Paris Roseman. Shine Roseman, who plays the character Vanessa, is a charming burglar or thief who is full of surprises. If you give her a second chance, thinking she had truly repented from her bad ways, you will be shocked at her next move. And that's exactly how Maurice Sam, who plays the character Adeola, feels whenever he gives her a second chance to redeem herself. Apparently, when she decides to leave her past life behind, it came back in the future in tenfold, haunting her at a point when everything started working in her favor. But luckily for her, she is able to make amends and eventually redeems herself. At number 2 spot, we have the movie called Perfect Friendship. Perfect Friendship portrays the live-in lifestyle of two best friends, Dan and Maria, in which one is a pretty lady who identifies as a tomboy and the other is a regular fine guy. Regardless, they both consider themselves men and respect each other's decision. Through the journey, their tight-knit friendship bond started having problems when Dan finds another woman named Rose attractive. Dan and Maria become distant, but in the long run decides to take their friend-zoned relationship deeper when Maria, the self-acclaimed tomboy, suddenly becomes a woman with a full hourglass shape while serving Dan different killer looks in their shared apartment. Spicy, right? I know, go check it out. The cast are simply amazing. At number 3, we have the movie Better Tomorrow. Better Tomorrow is a movie owned and produced by Uche Nancy. Better Tomorrow is a movie that resonates with a lot of people. I mean, the fact that one doesn't have today does not mean that they wouldn't have in the future, and vice versa. In this movie, Sonia Uche, who played the character Happiness, was ironically denied happiness by her wicked aunt. Being an orphan, Happiness was left with no other option but to move in with her aunt and daughter, Beauty. She would often do little jobs like cooking for bachelors. A particular bachelor by the name of Raymond, whom she cooks for, suddenly takes a liking into her and was willing to give her the kind of life she had always wanted while he marries her. Unfortunately, when Happiness' aunt discovers this, she becomes upset and would rather have Beauty, her own daughter, be a wife to Raymond. Beauty also buys the idea and works with her mother to get Happiness out of the picture. They succeeded, but later regretted when Raymond's wealth comes crashing down. Karma is such a bitch, right? If you are wondering whether Happiness becomes happy at the end, yes, she won. Watch the movie. The cast are simply amazing. At number 4, we have the movie Love in Strange Places. This movie portrays how humans actually find love in the strangest ways possible. When Mike mistakenly dials a wrong number, Sonia picks up the call and immediately hurls insults at him because she thinks he is a fraudster. Mike calls back the following day to apologize for his mistake, but this time, Sonia's friend Ini picked up the phone since Sonia wouldn't have anything to do with Mike. Mike discovers that the person who picks the phone the second time was calm and willing to listen to him, unlike what he experienced the day before. Ini started talking to Mike, but keep in mind that she was impersonating Sonia by using her name and pictures. To Mike, he was communicating with Sonia and not Ini. Ini, however, kept on using Sonia's personality to communicate with Mike. They grew fond of each other. Even though Ini has a boyfriend, she and Mike would often talk for hours. They found out that they share some similarities, and Mike, who was recently dumped by his girlfriend, quickly got over it because, to him, the lady on the other end of the line should be every man's dream girl. Everything was fine until Mike decides to pay Sonia a visit in Lagos. Things get sour between Ini and Sonia when they find out that the guy who is always communicating at the other end of the line is rich and handsome. Sonia, who initially hated Mike's guts, suddenly took a liking into him when he showed up at a supermarket to surprise her. At first, she was clueless as to who he is, but later plays it off when Mike describes himself. Mike, who thinks he has been chatting with Sonia, was a bit baffled at her confusion, since he had also sent pictures of himself to her. The thing is, Sonia never got to see those pictures because she would always tell Ini she doesn't care. As their relationship continues, the truth couldn't stay locked up for long as Sonia begins to demonstrate some suspicious behavior and Ini begins to talk and act like who Mike knew and connected with over the phone. It was such a lovely movie, you should go check it out. At number 5, we have Word on the Street. This movie was produced by Ruth Kadiri. It teaches a lot of lessons, especially to hookup babes who continue to sell their bodies for money, thinking love can never find them. In this movie, Ruth Kadiri, who plays the character of Becky, is into hookup. She stops when she finds herself a boyfriend, but continues when her mother is on the verge of dying, and she and her younger sister, Sandra, were told to bring a huge sum of money for her immediate surgery, else she dies. Becky gets a call for an hookup business. She goes for it and unknowingly sleeps with her younger sister's boyfriend. Unfortunately, their mother dies the day the money for surgery was completed. Sandra coincidentally discovers that her boyfriend, Jay, had a one-night stand with her sister, and all hell breaks loose. The two sisters will constantly end up fighting over everything. While Becky tries to apologize and make things work at home, Sandra is not having any of that. She even goes as far as blowing Becky's cover by telling her boyfriend Anderson that she's into hookup. This revelation results into Anderson breaking up with Becky. Their fight continues until Becky decides to move out of the house. While she sits outside a bar trying to figure out her movement, she meets a man named Clinton. That's your favorite Maurice Sam. They got talking and he promised to set up a business for her so that she will stop her hookup business. A happy Becky brings him back home, and it turns out that Clinton is an old school acquaintance of Sandra. Another fight ensues between the two sisters because Sandra wants Clinton for herself alone. You should watch the movie to see who Clinton falls in love with at last. At number 6, we have the movie My Box, My Ex. This movie revolves around a rich lady named Sophie, her boyfriend Femi, and her ex-boyfriend Alex. It portrays the fact that many exes actually never really forgive themselves, and when they accidentally meet, they would want to rip each other apart. And that is exactly the case of Sophie and Alex. Though Sophie is in a one-sided relationship where her boyfriend Femi is only with her because of her money, she fails to see through his facade and loves him blindly. When Alex, her ex-boyfriend, comes looking for a job at her workplace, she offers him one as an errand boy just to spite him for what he did to her in the past. Alex stays, accepting all her ridiculous demands just because he still loves her. Find out what happens to Sophie, Alex, and Femi eventually. At number 7, we have Love Lost. Love Lost is a movie that teaches quite a number of real-life lessons. It portrays the fact that married men most times do not cheat on their own accord. Sometimes they get drawn into the web of side chicks through spiritual forces. And this is exactly what happens to Nelson in the movie. Though married, he finds himself staying out late and cooking up diverse lies to deliver to his wife, Tonia, who constantly waits up for him through the night. The side chick, who goes by the name Candy, uses a strong juju to hold Nelson down such that he can't do without her for a second. At a point, he finds himself spending all his fortune on her until Tonia discovers and fights for a divorce. You should find out what happened next. Go download and watch the movie. At number 8, we have All We Had. All We Had is a movie that resonates with humans, especially when we lose someone whom we genuinely care about. We have Chineye Nnebe and Maurice Sam on this movie. These two actors are simply amazing and they both killed their roles. In the movie, Benita and Emeka lost their own child, Cherish, to leukemia. When she died, Benita blames Emeka for their daughter's death because he chose to be a good man by returning to the owner the money he discovers in his taxi. That money was more than enough to have catered for Cherish's surgery, but Emeka's conscience wouldn't allow him use the money because It doesn't belong to him. Benita stays angry with him for so long and treats him like trash. When she got a standard paying job, she and her mother literally turns Emeka into an errand boy. It gets to a point where Emeka gets fed up and their marriage is threatening to break apart. You should find out what happened next in the movie. I've put the links of all these movies in my description. Just go there and just click on it and watch away and enjoy yourself. At number 9, we have the movie Honest Mistake. Honest Mistake revolves around the character Eva, who is married but unable to bear children. As a result of this, her husband Kenneth sends her packing while he brings in another woman. Eva moves in with her childhood friend Nellie and soon gets a job. The two friends both work as house helps for a young man named Jerry, who is a chronic womanizer. Nellie appears to be dating Jerry, irrespective of him sleeping around. As the movie progresses, Eva, who is said to be barren, gets pregnant for Jerry, but Jerry denies the pregnancy and claims he never slept with her. So how did she get pregnant? The issue brings discord between Eva and Nellie, who is in love with Jerry. Find out how possible it was for Eva to get pregnant and how Jerry becomes a father. I have attached the link to the movie in the description below, just like every other movie I've mentioned. Last but not the least is the movie Love Perfect. Love Perfect is a movie that brings hope of love to those who think that due to their past, they can never find someone who will genuinely accept them. Nancy and her sister Sonia are full-time Olosho hookup babes. That is what they do for a living, and the disturbing fact about this is that their mother is fully in support of their hookup business. In fact, she literally serves as their manager. She books men on her daughter's behalf while she gets a cut from the money they make. While on her hookup business with a man, she meets Franklin, a talented artist. One day she visits him at home for a painting of herself, and from there, they start to have feelings for each other. When Franklin discovers that Nancy is a hookup babe, he is disappointed, but his love for her overshadows her past. They decide to make their relationship work, but Nancy's mom will not have any of it because Nancy finally decides to stop the hookup business and look for a decent job. Find out how they overcome their hurdles and stay strong in love. Check the description again for all the movie I have mentioned above. There you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. Before I sign out, tell me one thing you love about Maurice Sam in the comments. Please subscribe and see you all tomorrow in my next video. Bye.